Ukraine claims 13 Russian jets destroyed in covert drone attack. So there was this spider web operation. Russian transport trucks were used to reach air bases in which jets and bombers and all the other cool things that are used to bomb Ukraine take off from, right? And 8,000 kilometers deep into Russia, Ukraine has basically destroyed 41 Russian planes. 41 Russian planes have been destroyed. Ukraine's audacious covert drone attack on Russian air bases damaged over 40 Russian bomber jets, destroying 13 according to a Ukrainian official. And as you know, I'm a Ukrainian nationalist born in Kyiv, and hearing such news is just, it warms my heart to see this sort of thing happening. And I guess this is a great balance against the horrible Polish election results. Like, it just warms my heart to see that some good news happened in the world. And we're gonna talk about it a bit. This is actually interesting, and it's tied to the peace conference talks that have been happening a little bit over 1 hour. The peace talks lasted this time, and there was a huge list of non-starter demands, the usual ones, by the way. But there's one thing that is particularly of note to me. There's one particular thing that is of note to me. Right? Let's go.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky addressed the security service of Ukraine's
Look at this video.
operation inside the Russian Federation.
Glorious.
According to Zelensky, the operation targeting Russian airfields took over a year to plan and put together.
I think he said a year and a half or something. It took a year and a half to plan this operation.
Over 100 drones.
A total of 117 drones were used in the operation, and a corresponding number of operators was employed. 34% of the strategic cruise missile carriers at the targeted airfields were hit. Our people were operating in different Russian regions in 3 time zones and were withdrawn from Russian soil on the eve of the operation, and now they are safe, those who helped us. It's really nice to see efforts that I authorized 18 months ago, working and taking more than 40 strategic aircraft from the Russians.
1.5 years, just like I said. And apparently they've lost 30% of their bombers. It's so crazy that Russia's security, Russia's everything is so lax that on the one hand I want to say that it shocks me that this sort of thing happened, but then it's just sort of feels so Russian that this sort of thing happened, you know? Yeah, this just, I don't know, maybe I'm just being a horrible Polish person, well, Ukrainian person, but it just feels so Russian that this sort of thing happened, that there were no countermeasures in place. Just so typical. The updated assessment of the surprise attack's impact was provided on Monday morning by Andriy Kovalenko, head of the Center of Countering Disinformation, a public institution linked to the Ukrainian Defense and Security Authorities. Oh, there we go. SBU Chief Vasyl Maliuk said on Monday that 41 aircraft were hit during the drone strikes on Sunday, including strategic bombers such as the A-50, Tu-95, Tu-22 M3, and Tu-160 across the Russian military airfields. Russia regularly deploys Tu-95 and Tu-22 M3 bombers to launch cruise missiles against Ukraine. The enemy thought that he could bomb Ukraine with impunity and kill Ukrainians, but this is not so. We will respond to Russian terror, and destroy the enemy everywhere, at sea, in the air, on land, and if necessary, we will get it out of the ground, Malyuk said. And here you have like a video of the operation, which we can now watch. Isn't that interesting? You want good news? Well, I'm bringing you some good news, finally. 1.5 years in the making. A secret operation. What did Trump say again? There was this one thing that Trump said about Ukraine. Oh yeah, it has no cards. So does this count as a card? Does this count as 2 cards, 3 cards? I don't know. Is that a card? Does Ukraine still have no cards? The saddest thing about this is this should just mobilize the West to support Ukraine more and to pressure Russia more. But the United States, under Trump, basically became a Russian ally. And the European Union, I still have no clue how the European Union will react and what it will do. The best part is that all internal trade is gonna grind to a halt because they're going to have to check every single shipment for smuggled drones. Yeah, I know. They've already started checking all the trucks, and this is a very nice side effect on this deadly operation. Yeah, that is true. They have ramped up their search. It appears that the drones were remotely launched from containers on trucks parked near military airports deep in Russian territory. Video footage shared on social media shows the drones taking off from lorries before striking the air bases and reducing some of the highly prized jets to burning wrecks. And I'm sorry to say, or I'm rather glad to say, that the Russian military industrial complex is not infinite, and Russia does not have the infinite capacity to just replace everything that it loses. Okay? Sanctions might be bypassed, but they actually do affect Russia's capacity to manufacture, especially modern, high-quality equipment. Sources cited by Ukrainian media claim the strikes, including an attack on an air base in Siberia, thousands of kilometers away from the front line, may have wiped out 34% of Russia's bombers, capable of carrying cruise missiles, and caused $7 billion in damages. $7 billion, that's a pretty amount. And I guess everybody, when they heard initially 8,000 kilometers, probably a lot of people thought, oh my God, how? How did Ukraine get so deep into Russian territory? Yeah, you've missed the debate, an Entropy fan. You should have came to the stream before. It's over. Hello, Jimmy McCurley. So many new viewers tonight. Hello. I hope that you'll not only stay today, but I hope I'll see you again next time. It seems like YouTube algorithm has really started liking me. Dang, debate is over. Big Sag. Yes, I've debated 3 Polish chatters that have decided that I'm silly and that Nawrocki winning is great and Mensen losing is sad. Also, the 7 billion USD number is deceptive. It's much more than that. Those bombers are not getting replaced. Oh yeah, as I've said, Russia does not have an endless capacity to replace equipment, and believe it or not, the sanctions are not completely useless. Yes, I've said that. Okay, let's continue a bit. There you go, crippling Russia's aerial power. The Institute of the Staff for the Study of War wrote in its analysis that Russia will likely struggle to replace the damaged and destroyed aircraft. It added that Kyiv continues to innovate its drone technology and tactics to achieve operational surprise and successfully strike Russian military infrastructure far behind the front lines. Russia does not have the infrastructure to replace its strategic bomber reserves. Yes. Also, is that your first stream? How did you find it? Record the drone barrage. This is a huge attack. It's a huge next step in guerrilla warfare. The implications are insane. I mean, you can, I guess, technically speaking, you could use this in guerrilla warfare, but this was used in regular warfare. Like what's happening in between Ukraine and Russia is not guerrilla warfare. This is just regular warfare. I looked up debate and looked for his streams. Oh, well, unfortunately, the debate today has already ended. Like, I've been debating for a good while, 3 viewers. I'm gonna probably upload this as a segment. I should introduce myself to the new viewers. Lucy Haze. I'm a Polish trans Jewish streamer. And I do history, politics, languages. I do some gaming. I cover the war in Ukraine, and I travel to Ukraine very often to talk to organizations that rescue children. Oh yeah, I'm Ukrainian, sorry, I lied. I talk to organizations that rescue Ukrainian children from Russia. Yes. Although I don't know if this was conducted by a small independent force. Could drones be called small independent force? All right. I suppose it does fit. Jamie McCurley. In response to the attack, Russia launched a record 472 attack drones overnight from Sunday to Monday, according to Ukraine's Air Force. This is the largest such assault in a single night since the invasion began in February 2022. Explosions were reported during the raid in Ukraine's northeastern city of Kharkiv. Mayor Ihor Terekov said the strikes damaged a civilian enterprise, several private homes, and vehicles. Five people were injured, including a 7-year-old boy, he added. Later, Russian forces carried out 2 ballistic missile strikes on Kharkiv. Terekov reported it on the social media platform Telegram. So, basically, what we are seeing here is that well, Russia is not doing so hot, okay? Russia is not doing so hot after this attack.